I remember a time when every morning felt like a battle. My reflection was a stranger, eyes hollowed out by a worry that clung to me like a shadow. The world outside my window seemed to move in fast forward, full of color and life, while I was stuck in a grayscale haze, paralyzed by a despair that had no name. It felt like I was drowning in slow motion, the weight of everything pressing down, and I kept waiting for a hand to reach in and pull me out. Friends would offer advice, family would express concern, but their words felt like distant echoes. The truth was, no one could truly understand the maze inside my own head. One night, sitting in the quiet darkness, a thought hit me with the force of a physical blow. No one is coming to save you. There's no cavalry, no superhero, no magic solution. The only person who could pull me from this wreckage was me. It was a terrifying realization, but also strangely liberating. It was the first time in a long time that I felt a flicker of agency, a tiny spark of control in the chaos. I was at rock bottom, and the only way left to go was up. But I had to be the one to start climbing. The first step wasn't some grand heroic act. It was small, so small it was almost laughable. I decided to make my bed, that's it. The next day, I made my bed and went for a 10-minute walk. Then I added drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning. These weren't life-altering changes, but they were promises I made to myself and kept. Each completed task was a tiny victory, a brick laid in a new foundation. I started to understand that discipline wasn't about punishment. It was a form of self-respect. It was telling myself, you are worth the effort. Your well-being is worth this small, consistent work. Slowly the grayscale began to fade. The 10-minute walks turned into 30-minute runs. Reading a page of a book became a chapter. The process was painfully slow, and there were days I slipped back into the old fog. The difference now was that I didn't stay there. I learned to forgive myself for the stumbles and just focus on the next right thing. I started to see that my worth wasn't tied to my productivity or my successes, but to the simple fact that I was showing up for myself, day after day. This quiet, consistent effort was building something inside me, a strength that didn't need to be loud or flashy. It was a deep internal knowing that I could rely on myself. I began to explore things I'd long forgotten I enjoyed. I picked up an old guitar, my fingers clumsy at first. I started writing, not for an audience but just for me, pouring out the jumbled thoughts that used to keep me trapped. In these moments of creation, I found a sense of flow, a place where the worry couldn't reach me. I wasn't chasing happiness anymore. Instead, I was cultivating peace. I was building a life that felt authentic, not one that was designed to impress others. This journey led me to reconnect with people, but this time from a place of strength, not need. I could offer support because my own cup was no longer empty. I could listen without feeling drained. I started a small project, a passion I'd put on a shelf years ago. It wasn't about making money or gaining fame. It was about bringing something of value into the world, something that was uniquely mine. And a funny thing happened. As I focused on the process, on the craft, on the act of giving, success started to follow. Not the loud, explosive kind, but a steady, sustainable growth. Opportunities appeared that I never would have been ready for before. Looking back, the man in the mirror is no longer a stranger. The worry hasn't vanished completely, it's a part of life, but it no longer owns me. It's just a passing cloud in a much larger sky. My strength isn't about being unbreakable. It's about knowing how to put myself back together. It's the resilience forged in the quiet moments of choosing to try again. The journey wasn't about becoming a new person, but about rediscovering the one who was there all along, buried under layers of fear and self-doubt. If you're in that dark place right now, waiting for a savior, please hear this. The hero you're waiting for is you. It starts with one small promise you keep to yourself, making your bed. A glass of water, a walk around the block. It won't feel like much at first, but it's the beginning of everything. You are the architect of your own rescue. It's a slow, quiet, and often lonely process, but it is the most important work you will ever do. Build your foundation, one small brick at a time. Discover your own quiet strength. Because on the other side of that struggle is a life of purpose, a life of peace, a life you built with your own two hands. You are worth the effort. You have everything you need to begin. Start now. Thank you for watching and for sharing this time with me. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more content on personal growth and resilience. Take care of yourself.